Good afternoon and welcome to the Danville Community School District Candidate Forum conducted by the Greater Burlington Partnership's Government Relations Committee. My name is Steve Francis and I will be your moderator for this afternoon. Our timekeeper is Stephen Brody with the Greater Burlington Partnership. In the interest of time and fairness to the other candidates, I'm going to ask each of you to observe Stephen's signal and stop your response when time is up. The forum will consist of rounds of questions to which each candidate will have up to 2 minutes to respond. A decision was made by the Government Relations Committee to have the candidates answer the questions impromptu. In other words, they have not seen the questions in advance. Questions from the audience or online will be reviewed to ask if time permits. Let's start by having you introduce yourself and share why you are running for a seat on the Danville School Board.
My name is Samantha Dill. I'm a graduate of Danville, and I've lived in and around the community my entire life. I have 2 children in the district, a 5th grader and 1 in daycare. I am the compliance officer for Danville State Savings Bank and just wrapped up coaching as an elementary volleyball team. My reason for running for Danville School Board is simple, just to continue my involvement in the school district and my community. My objective is to go into this with an open mind and learn as I go, and to gain more knowledge of its inner workings.
Thank you. Trent?
Good afternoon. My name is Trent Hinkelvig. I'd like to start by thanking everybody here and really Greater Burlington Partnership for having this forum. This is unique. I think this is the only type of thing that we have to get the word out, so we appreciate that. I've lived in Danville now for over 15 years. I'm married to Heather Hinkelvig. Heffelfinger was her maiden name, and after I was deployed, she wanted to move back home. I was in law school at the time. I'm like, well, we've got to finish. Literally by the time I'd finished and got home from my last final, she'd already had the truck loaded. I didn't even have to pack everything up. We were heading down here. And it's been a good move. I really enjoy it. I do have two girls in the school system. Reagan's a junior, Addison's a freshman. They're both very involved. 10 seconds. I'm a lawyer. I talk too much. So I'll get a chance to answer more questions. I've already used up my time. So thank you and I appreciate you guys watching.
Andrew?
Good afternoon. My name is Andrew Tager, and I am running for this school board to better Danville School and to help support Danville School. I'm also a Danville graduate from 2007. I met my wife at Danville School. We currently have 2 kids, and they are now at Danville School. When we first had our daughter, we lived in Iowa City. When our daughter was getting ready to start school, we decided Danville was the place that we wanted to be, so we actually moved back to the area just so our kids can attend the small school and have the small school experience. So just like I said, I'd like to support Danville and facilitate in any way that I can.
Tanner?
My name's Tanner Thoman, and I live in town in Danville. I have 2 kids. They're in 3rd and 6th grade. I operate a business in Danville also. Danville graduate, 1999, so a few years before Andrew. But I just basically running for the school board because I want to get involved. I want to, be able to have some input on what's going on with our kids and kind of help keep the school on the path that it is.
Thank you. We'll take this time to get into some of the questions. Samantha, I will give you the first question. If elected, what unique skill set or expertise will you bring, and how will you leverage that experience for the betterment of the school district?
Can you repeat the question?
Sure. If elected, what unique skill set or expertise will you bring, and how will you leverage that experience for the betterment of the school district?
So I am Like I stated, I work at the bank. I have worked my way up in the financial aspect of working at a bank, and I would love to get into the inner workings of school district financials and helping in any way that I can. Assets that I can bring are any knowledge bank-wise, financial-wise, and just having an invested interest in the students in the community.
Thank you. Trent, I'll give you the next question. What do you believe is the primary priority of public education?
Well, when you talk about the primary priority of public education, you really go back to its roots. And if we all remember from history class, you know, the 3 R's, reading, writing, and arithmetic was a big push when public schools first started. And so we have to remember those core functions and really what they do by working on teaching language and reading and math. We're giving our students there the tools they need to go on and be lifelong learners. So I think that is truly the primary function of public schools. And part of it is, at the end of the day, as they get on socialization as far as how do you work within the workforce and how do you go from being a student to, you know, you graduate, here's the piece of paper, and tomorrow you're going to a job or off to college or off to the military. But you know, we're really training our future leaders, but fundamentally the core is you have to teach the students how to learn.
Thank you. Andrew, I'll give you the next question. What are your areas or priority regarding student achievement in the school district, and what academic programs and offerings would you recommend?
One more time for me.
Sure. What are your areas or priorities regarding student achievement in the school district, and what academic programs or offerings would you recommend?
So I'm going to start at the back of the question. What I would recommend, I'm actually a small business owner as well as Tanner. I own a small electrical shop. I believe that in today's world where we're at, a lot of people get pushed towards college. So I would like to bring the trades into school more and prepare kids in that aspect to bring, to be able to leave school and jump into a trade. And so that's what I would like to bring to the school in that aspect. I would say the priorities of Danville is always to have the core values and create the profile of a graduate to be able to succeed in the world, regardless of college or trade.
Thank you. Tanner, next one is for you. One of the most difficult decisions you might have to make as a school board member will be budgetary. In your opinion, what are the financial priorities facing the local school system?
Probably just having the resources, to do everything they want to do, whether it be facility related, staff related, programs that we can offer students, and trying to figure out how to meet those needs the best. Maybe if it's something program related that a student wants to do, if we can't offer that to them in the best spot, maybe they can go to another school and do it, or saddle up with SEC and give them those opportunities that way.
Sounds good. Thank you. We'll come back to you here with the next question. Recently, Des Moines County School Districts collaborated to attend Teachers Appreciation Day and heard from best-selling author Mark C. Perna. As a means of demonstrating further collaboration, what policies can the school board put into place, or what programs can you support to ensure career pathway opportunities for the students?
The second part of that was what policies?
What policies could the school board put into place, or what programs could you support to ensure career pathway opportunities for students?
I would say the first step of that would be to determine, what programs were needed. And then, see what, as far as staff, what room we had, as far as if it was welding or something like that, to see, what we could do to facilitate all that.
Thank you. Andrew will give you this next question. What is a school board member's role and responsibility? How does it differ from the role of the superintendent or building principal?
I believe the role of the school board is to set policy for the school. I also believe their role is to hire and fire the superintendent. As somebody who sat on a committee to bring in the superintendent 2 years ago, being involved in that process was actually very eye-opening to me on what it takes to bring in a superintendent. So I was fortunate to be able to serve on that and be involved. And then as for setting policy, the school board needs to set the policy where the superintendent and the principals then will implement that policy.
Thank you. Trent, next question. What do you see as the district's area for growth, and what solutions could you help propose?
Sure. So when we're talking about growth, we really are talking about open enrollment. At the end of the day, the city's landlocked. There really are less than a handful of lots that we could build on. We do have some developments that pop up in the country, but really we're looking at open enrollment. And so I think the first key is holding what we have there, because that's a concern. Open enrollment money is going to be open. It's already open for private schools at this point, yet it's income dependent. And next year it's income dependent at I think 200% of poverty rate. But then the year after that, it's no longer income dependent. And I think we get into that third year of that program, we're going to have some competition for open enrollment students that we haven't had in the past. If you pull 4 or 5 kids out of every class, we start having some really tough discussions. So I think we're at a point where we really need to worry and focus on what is our chief selling point to parents looking to enroll their students. How do we best take care of the students, and what do we do? Now, personally, I think for that, I think we have a lot of things in place. I think having more facilities, really training facilities for the athletics. I've been involved with the rec board for many years. Heather's with the Boosters. I've helped with several organizations over the years, but helped with the Boosters quite a bit. Had the opportunity to coach the junior high and coached all the way through the rec. So one of the things that we have is we have facilities. Again, I'm getting to time. I got to apologize. But if you can give me a quick second to finish. We have the facilities for the primary sports at the high school and varsity level, but as we get down, we end up having the elementary schools, and you probably talked to this, as you start coaching those elementary kids and trying to get gym time. You have kids in the gym at 9 o'clock at night when they really need to be home in bed.
Thank you. Samantha, question for you. An individual school board member has no authority. Only the collective board can make a decision for the district. What skills or traits will allow you to contribute to the effective operations of the board as a whole?
So again, with my banking experience, I know how important it is to collaborate with other members of management and other departments. on a project and knowing when to take on extra work and when to delegate duties. Danville School Board is a governing board, and it will take all of us coming together to form a common goal to operate effectively. I know that I can't go in with one objective and get anything passed without having everyone on the board to agree. It's going to be all of us together.
Thank you. Come back to you, Tanner. School resource officers are present for school safety, to build relationships with the students and staff, and to assist teachers and administration with achieving their educational goals. Would you continue to support the school resource officer program in the future? And are there other opportunities for the school resource officer?
As far as other opportunities, like within the school, other than maybe like some career path coaching or mentoring for kids, that would be another, option to use them. As far as continuing the resource officer, absolutely. I think that it's necessary. I think that it gives people a sense of security, just him being there.
Thank you. Trent, question for you. What do you see as the current challenges facing public education in our state and country?
Well, so in the state, I just talked a little bit about open enrollment shifting to include private schools. So we have to be able to compete at that level. And I think that we can, but we want to stay focused on that. At the national level, one of those things, you don't get to be a lawyer without doing your homework. And so in doing my homework today, after I got off with work, I took some time to look at questions that forums from other areas have had and other school boards have had. And I'll be honest, a lot of the problems that they have nationally, we just don't have. We're fortunate that we have a pretty good crew in place already at Danville, and so there are issues nationally that just make me scratch my head. But for the most part, those aren't issues that we have in Danville. I'm grateful for that, and I'll do my best to make sure that stays. Okay.
Thank you. Andrew, we'll give you this question. What are your best hopes for the future of the Danville School District? How would your aspirations help the Danville students?
So I would say my hopes for the future with Danville, like most schools, is continue to grow. The slogan is always home quality kids. So I'd say we want to continue that with growth. We want to grow, and we want to continue to produce good students that are a value to society once they get done with school.
Samantha, how do you attract and retain high-quality educators and staff to your school district?
I mean, being an educator this day and age is difficult, no matter what anyone would say. I'd like our staff to feel supported in any way that they can, and that they can communicate their needs that they have with either the board or their superintendent, and that it get met in some way. For offering direct support to them, I'm open to discussing pay and retention bonuses, of course, and then I want our staff to be recognized and feel appreciated for what they do. They are a very big contributor in our students' lives.
Thank you. Andrew, we'll give you this next question. If elected, what unique skill set or expertise will you bring to the district, and how will you leverage that experience for the betterment of the school district?
So I think the skill set I would bring is, as a small business owner, the being frugal within a running business. I also know enough that Danville's looking to actually expand and put additions on, possibly move some classrooms around. So with that, I think with a business background, with a construction background that I hold, I'd be very influential in facilitating with those contractors, with the school, when or if that comes about.
Thank you. Tanner, what do you believe is the primary priority of public education?
To prepare our kids for the world, to produce quality people and to give them the baseline fundamentals so that as they go through their life, they can continue to learn. Is when I graduated high school, I probably thought that my learning was over and that I probably knew everything, but I learned something every day, and just to have the skills to be able to, to know where to get the information, how to absorb it, and apply it.
Thank you. Trent, next question for you is, what are your areas of priority regarding student achievement in the Danville School District, and what academic programs and offerings would you recommend?
So, areas of focus, I think as you talk about a school district as a whole and areas of focus, it's a little bit tougher to say, hey, this is going to be our one area. I think focus shifts as you get from, we have three-year-old preschool all the way through seniors in high school. So I think it's kind of a moving target. When you have those 3-4 kids, pre-K, kindergarten, I think getting them engaged, teaching them how to behave in a classroom, yet giving them enough time and room to run around and play and learn to enjoy and love school, that's probably the priority at that point. And then, first all the way through 5th, 6th grade, you're really focusing on the 3 R's, and obviously arithmetic starts with an A, but that was the joke, and that was how it was, pushed back in the day. And really getting them to the point to where they're ready to learn, they know how to learn. And then in junior high, we do start to branch out a little bit with the kids, and they do learn more skills. And in high school, again, I think that it becomes, we still need to have, I think every student should take a core class every semester. That doesn't mean that every kid's taking AP courses, but that by the time they're done, they're comfortable and competent in all those core areas. But we need to look into, what's their life going to look like after they're out of high school. This time for me is a thing. I can talk forever. I'm sorry. So
That's fine. Samantha, what is the school board member's role and responsibility, and how does it differ from the role of the superintendent or the building principal, in your opinion?
Honestly, I believe the superintendent has a harder, bigger job than the school board does. He is collaborating with his departments in the school, collecting the data and presenting it to the board. He's doing the work, we're getting presented the work. Like I said, we are a governing board, so most of our duties are going to be yays or nays in reviewing policies and procedures. But the majority of the work is going to be on our superintendent.
Thank you. Andrew, hopefully I haven't asked you this already, but if I have, please correct me. What are your best hopes for the future of the school district, and how would you help the aspirations of the students in the Danville district?
But I believe I had a question just similar to this, didn't I? Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
I'll ask you a different one. Well, I'll ask you, how would you be able to help, as a school board member, attract and retain high-quality educators to the Danville School District?
So I guess through one of my main reasons for running was also I had a couple teachers reach out to me at a high school football game, and they knew I was kind of interested, and they asked me to run. I believe that was because they knew that I would support them. I also, like most people here, I coach most sports that my kids are involved in. I think I've coached the superintendent's kids and teachers' kids alike, and I think they see that when they have somebody who supports the kids, they know that it's also going to turn into support for staff. And so to retain, I like Sam said, we need to support our teachers, and we need to do what we can to bring some teachers in that would also facilitate a better school.
Thank you. Tanner, question. What do you see as the current challenges facing public education in our state and in the country?
You said just direct to the education, right?
Yes. Public education.
Oh, public education.
Yes.
I mean, obviously, having trained and qualified personnel as far as teachers, administrators and whatnot to fill those positions is, I think probably a big challenge. We have to be able to be competitive with what those individuals could, get jobs for outside of education. So probably keeping qualified teachers, keeping good administrators in those jobs, and also, like anything with the rising cost of everything, making sure that we have the resources to do everything.
What do you think?
You got plenty of time.
Okay. Try to remember who I asked questions to and keep it fair. I have a sign that says you can loan a 30-second question, but appreciate you guys being here. We'll go back to Trent. We'll go back to the question. The Des Moines County School Districts kind of collaborated to attend the Teachers Appreciation Day and heard from the best-selling author. As a means of demonstrating further collaboration, are there any policies you can help the school board put into place or programs you can support to ensure career pathway opportunities for students?
For students or for faculty?
Well, I guess for both.
Okay. As far as for students, so there's several things. I mean, we currently have Miss No, who's working with, helping kids in career development, and she's doing a good job there, and she's reaching out to the public. And I think one thing we can do there is we can expand that. I know there's a group that's pitched to the supervisors down here where they're had been working with Burlington. They've now expanded into West Burlington, where they're working with businesses. And what they're helping to do is set up internships where the kids can go in, work, do jobs, get credit, and they have somebody on staff that helps with the administrative end of that. I mean, at the end of the day, when you're in business and I've gotten the call, hey, can I come and intern? And I'm like, oh no, what does that look like? That's going to be work. And I did that, and it ended up being a good experience for everybody involved. But when a lot of people get that call and they're like, okay, you're going to have to report back to the college, you're going to have to write reports, you're going to have to do all of this additional work. They're like, now I have somebody that needs trained, and you want me to do all this paperwork on top. So I think working with community actors, finding people within the business world that have a need to train people that could benefit from having possible future employees come and work from them, and it would benefit the students significantly to, one, get out of the classroom. One thing about classroom learning is some kids get up in the morning, they're excited to go and sit in the classroom and hang out with their friends and not have to be outside and be on the computer, and they love it. That's their thing. But you have other kids where you tell them you're going to have to sit inside for 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hours, 8 hours a day. That's like you're sending them to prison. I mean, they want to get outside, get their hands dirty, and they're willing to do that, and they learn that way. That's how they learn. So I think okay, I apologize.
Thank you. Samantha, question for you. The school resource officers are present for school safety and to build relationships with the students and staff to assist the teachers and administration with achieving their educational goals. Would you continue to support the school resource officer program in the future? And are there any other opportunities for the school resource officer in the school district?
Absolutely. I would support him staying in our school district. I mean, he's the first face I see every day when I drop my kids off to school. He's the first person I wave at. To be quite honest, I don't know what his role is day to day, what he partakes in a normal school day, but I know he's there outside with the students every morning and every afternoon as they leave. I 100% would like to keep him.
Thank you. Tanner, we'll question back to you. What is the school board member's role and responsibility, and how does it differ from the role of the superintendent or building principal?
I think some people will get the idea that the school board runs the school. In my view, that is not the case at all. Our superintendent, our principals, I mean, they're the ones that run the school. I look at the school board as more as a check and balance or an advisory board. A gentleman that used to serve on the school board a long time ago, he always told me, he's like, the job of the board is to make policy and for the superintendent and the rest of the district to carry out. As far as, in my view of who's in charge, that's the superintendent.
Thank you. Andrew, back to you. One of the most difficult decisions you might have to make as a school board member will be budgetary. In your opinion, what are the financial priorities facing the local school system?
I'm sorry, say it one more time.
You bet. One of the most difficult decisions you might have to make as a school board member will be budgetary. In your opinion, what are the financial priorities facing the local school system?
I would say the financial priorities affecting the school system would be probably teacher retention. It seems like every time you talk to other people, other schools are continuing to seek out other teachers, and they're offering bonuses and whatnot. So in the time of now where costs of everything is going up, I would say just making sure that we are taking care of our staff and we are supplying what the district needs for materials and also what our kids need in class. So short answer, we need to continue to support our educators, and we need to make sure that they have everything they need to continue to turn out quality graduates.
Thank you. Samantha, go back with a question for you. What do you believe is the primary goal of public education?
I believe it's very simple. It's to provide a safe place for our children to prepare themselves for the career world and their adult world. We're giving them the life skills to be successful, independent adults.
Thank you. Did we have any questions online or in person? Should I move to some closing statements? Or
If you'd like to, sure.
if you're ready for the closing statements?
Sure.
Actually, we'll start with you, Mr. Thoman.
Yeah, I'd like to thank everybody for taking time to watch this live or later to see what all the candidates had to say. I don't come from board experience. I haven't been on a school board. You know, I do come from as a business owner, as a parent, and I just want what's best for our school, for our community, for our teachers, and, you know, for the future teachers and future students. So I just would like to have input on that and see what good I can do. Thank you.
Thank you. Andrew?
I would like to thank the Greater Burlington Partnership for putting this on. It's been a little different than what I expected, but it was a good time here. I would like to thank everybody who is going to participate in the election. I don't think Danville will be in a bad direction. Whoever's on the board, I think we all are looking for a positive outlook for our school, and we all would like to see Danville continue to succeed, and continue to grow and bring more educators in, and just continue to grow and become a better school. Thank you.
Thank you. Trent?
Okay, for closing statements, again, I'm going to thank you guys for putting this on, and all of Greater Burlington. Thank everybody for listening. When it comes to local elections, having people participate, be informed, I think is important. And as far as why I think I'm qualified, the best candidate, I've been through and experienced all different types of education. Graduated from Garrigan, did my first then from there I went to the military. So I've got tons of military schooling from, basic AIT, jump school, OCS, engineer school, and just tons of schooling from the military side. Did my first 2 years at DMAC, second 2 at Grandview, and then finished my JD at Drake. So I've seen all different kinds of academic environments. Had the opportunity to work through the military all the way through retirement there, and had my business for over a decade. Currently work for the county. So I'm fairly familiar with these topics. And I think that will help with and again, I'm running out of time. I like to talk. I apologize for that. But I do think that I have a great deal of experience that would be of use to the district, and I'd like to be able to help and make an impact within the community. I think it's important that we maintain the school in town. It's our anchor employer. If we lose the school, we lose the town. Thank you.
Thank you. Samantha?
Again, thank you for having us, putting this on for us. My goal as a school board member is just to get in there and gain knowledge. Like Tanner said, I've never been on a board either, and we're not going to know until we get there. We all have a vested interest in our children and our students' education. All of us have students in the district, and we're all just want to be involved in our community and our school district, and that is my main goal, is to gain as much knowledge within our district as I can.
Thank you. I want to thank each of you for your interest in serving the Danville community. Public service can often be a thankless job, but we need dedicated individuals to serve. I want to thank the Greater Burlington Partnership and its Government Relations Committee for hosting this event, and thank those in the audience here and those who have been watching and or listening online for your interest in this school board election. Please vote for the candidates of your choice in the city of Danville on Tuesday, November 7th. Thank you.